Good morning from Chez Moi. It is May 18th. The color balance on this or the light balance is going to be difficult because it's not quite noon, so the sun is still peeking out from behind the big old trees. But let's see the progress. Actually, let's start with the side garden because it still looks most spring-like, and I'm not sure if I remembered to save the actual spring video, and I really want to see the progression of my garden. Anyway, I had the Sweet William come up first, and now we're beginning to get the butterfly weed. Got some lovely mint coming up over here. The painted lady butterflies are digging on the Sweet William. I think I see a squash bug down there. But that's okay. If they like the Sweet William, that keeps them off my squash, right? I also planted some sunflowers. So the idea is that we go from pink and white to kind of purple blue to orange and then to red. The sunflowers are velvet green. So let's see how that works. Okay. So let's go over to the main garden. So this is getting well into late spring, early summer. You'll see our last lemons are finally beginning to ripen. It was a little earlier in the day. We might see some honeybees and bumblebees. I think the bumblebees really like the lemon blossoms better than anything else. Oh, wait, there's a honeybee back there. I'm not sure if we can see her. I saw her. Maybe if I zoom later. Anyway, I checked out the irrigation system, and it held over the winter. This is its second winter surprisingly well. So far, the only problem I'm having is with a middle hanging basket, and we'll go see that in a second. But we've got the daisies starting. Some echinacea just poking its head out. I think I want to really trim back this, what is this, hazelnut? Yes, this is a hazelnut. It just doesn't ever seem to want to bloom. And we've got an oak tree under there too. So this should be a project for the front yard garden, is to trim all this back. Maybe I'll try to dig it up and split it and put it out back. Maybe that'll be a solution. I'm going to need to start harvesting seeds soon because we're getting blossoms from our oregano. Somebody's come by. I have an empty space here, and I feel the need to fill it with something before this viney weed thing comes back. I need to do some more weeding. My small patch of clover, crimson clover, is going to seed, I think maybe by this weekend, which is nice, a long holiday weekend. I might be able to do something with that. And I think I'm really just going to plant my tomatoes there because they do seem to get afternoon sun, and let the crimson clover take over for the winter and just kind of refurbish that area. As usual, my oregano is taken off. I need to probably prune it back. There's some more painted ladies. Again, they love that Sweet William. Oops. I went hog wild with marigolds. I tried to bunch them by color. I believe these are boleros. I've got a variety of basil. That's a Thai basil, purple globe basil being eaten by the oregano. That's another Thai basil. They're both already starting to flower. I need to pinch them again. This is just a variant green basil. And back there is a sad little purple basil that will hopefully take off now that I've put down slug bait. The marigolds and the basil, make a note of this, are being decimated by slugs. So I filled these pots with various leftover peppers. I think that's a jalapeno and marigolds, which looks like it's going to bloom soon. They've got their own water source, and I'll try to continuously fertilize them. They'll be okay. That's a cat grass that got a pepper seed in it, so I need to make some purple pesto soon and some Thai pesto. That one, I believe, is a habanero. I'm going ahead and doing this because I took some new curly parsley seed and put it up in the side garden. We'll go over there in a minute. But I definitely want to let this go to seed because it's been a wonderful performer for me. Plus, it'll be nice for the butterflies. My yarrow is growing nicely. It's going to have some pretty, should be white and pink umbels, stray butterfly weed. These should all be Jewel of the Nile nasturtiums. I'm going to let them grow into each other and tangle kind of down to the sidewalk. Kind of look like a French garden. Some more butterfly weed. I think when these mature, I will pull them out, and especially to give this eggplant some room. But I can probably transplant them elsewhere, just get their seeds or something. This poor eggplant's being swallowed whole too. I don't know, it might attract other stuff. Anyway, I also went on marigold borders. These are supposed to be Daisies. Now, last time I did marigold borders, they grew up and over and wild, and they were just kind of tangled in the pathway. But I also, last time, forgot them out one evening. I'd put them out all kind of bare root, so they were really not in the best shape. This time I've gotten them planted properly. I watered them in. I put some fresh garden soil around them as mulch. Hopefully they'll perform a little better this time. I'm beginning to get some little baby peppers off my California Wonder. Last year, my problem with my California Wonder peppers was that my season just wasn't long enough because of all my shade. See, I'm getting some starts for eggplants. I just don't think they're getting pollinated very well, because that one's just chock full of flowers. It's desperate to breed. Anyway, so I'm hoping that adding in these marigolds, which should start flowering any second now, will help draw the pollinators around. Again, I completely overplanted peppers. I think this is a row of jalapenos. Yeah, jalapenos. I sowed some okra in here, and I planted some okra. I've got 1, 2, 3 plants. 3 plants will come up the side, but I'm not sure how well they're going to do. So, yeah. Okay, so, as I said, over here, I've got 2 cherry tomatoes that I think are going to go down there. I think they should get enough sun because they're going to grow huge anyway. And I always forget I need to plant the tallest stuff at the front of my yard because that's the most northerly part. It's actually up here and here that are the best growing areas. So anything that can grow tall, like tomatoes there, and maybe cucumbers there if I don't start seeing some parsley. In fact, even if I do, I think I'm going to plant some cucumbers today. Yeah, let's plant some cucumbers. Maybe honeydew. Let's just throw some squash out there and see what takes. Okay, cool. We have a plan. Same here. I think I'm going to throw a honeydew or squash and some more okra out there. And we'll just see what takes and prune it back. It's not like I need to hoard seeds. So we have a plan to plant. Excellent. But first, we must get these poor little plants. This is a habanero that has just always been kind of the run to the litter. I think that might be over the winter habanero, so I want to put that one in a pot. I can do that later. These, I think, are honeydew. I'm not sure if I should even bother to plant them out because I doubt they're going to do well. So maybe I'll put them down by the tomato and see which ones. They'll just be my experimental low-light plants. Anyway, we see that we're getting the transition of my wildflower meadow. Again, we're going from our Sweet William, which I have to remember to look back on this tape, that directly under the tree is where I have a great concentration of the reds and the purples. And the daisies. The daisies are alright, but they just fade so fast, so we'll see. I think I want to encourage more echinacea, because those are really pretty, and I know that birds love them later in the season. Now, I've had great success with my foxglove. I definitely want to harvest seeds. They give so many seeds. Look at being dive-bombed by bumblebees because they're just all up in the foxglove. I'm in their flight path. That being said, this has been a boon for the native pollinators. Anyway, I have that foxglove in particular that I want to collect seeds from, because if that branching pattern is, see him coming at us? If that branching pattern is hereditary, I definitely want to encourage that. And I want to take from this foxglove, see the bees in there? The bumblebees love that. Anyway, because it's just so beautiful and straight, and it had a nice deep purple early. Anyway, as I said, we're going to transition again. These are overwintered, so these should be orange, yellow. I'm not sure what kind of nasturtiums those are. And some more bolero. Marigolds. Okay. Let's do the container garden up, and then we'll go see the ferns. Oh, look, I've got little flowers on my tomato already. So I've written down somewhere what's where. I'm not sure if I can't really tell which kind of tomato that is. I'm pretty sure it's not a cherry. I'm pretty sure that it's I'm pretty sure it's one of the beefsteak varieties. So we'll see. Whatever bears best and gets the least pests for me is going to be propagated. Well, here we go. I'm also doing an experiment for fertilizer. So the red bucket goes with red, pink, or orange tomatoes. And so they're getting the Miracle-Gro artificial fertilizer. The blue and green tomatoes and squash are getting the organic fish fertilizer. So let's just see if it matters or does anything. Anyway, all my tomatoes and squash this year are in pots. I'm doing the squash alone because I just kind of want to train them up, and I tried to plant them deeply so I could put a mound in there and tear off some of the bottom leaves as they get bigger, encourage more root growth. You'll see even in my pots here, I had horrible, oops, I'm standing in the light. Even in my pots here, I had some horrible slug problems. There we go. Until I put down the slug pellets. And after I put down the slug pellets, they seem to be fine. I just pruned off some lower leaves. Oh, great. Well, let's finish this up quickly. So the tongue's been looking really good. Oh, look at you, painted lady. I've got my catnip, which needs pruning, and the cats will love that concept. Sage, which is going bouillon. Rosemary hanging in there. Letting some cilantro go to seed. I decided against putting the impatiens up on the steps again because they always, by the end of the summer, get a little bit of powdery mildew on them from those steps, those wet steps, and not enough sun. So I'm keeping them over here where they look pretty and can be tended until there's like guests and company and stuff. And look at my brilliant hydrangeas. Can you see that blue? I love how they start out. Let's see. I'll get close. I love how they start out all blue and white and then get bigger and fluffier and like have purple tints to them. We're going to walk away. See? Okay, let's go visit my mushroom garden, which I'm probably this year going to need to trim my fatsia. But I've started some more because we're going to talk about all my plans for the year. Okay, the spiders have not built anything yet. Over here we have my successful shiitake garden. However, those best logs over there are really, really light. So I'm going to get one, maybe two more crops out of them, and then they're done. So I need to really get on my plugs. Over here I'm trying something I saw online where they put some wheat straw in. And I got some commercial oysters from those box things, you know, they sell at Home Depot, as well as some that have grown out in my backyard. So one's supposed to be a spring and one's supposed to be a fall. But I just did it in the fall, I just did it around January. So the spring one probably won't happen until next spring. It's really time to turn the compost. What have we got? We got a lot of flies. Oh my goodness. What is that in there? Okay. Well, we just let loose a horde. Anyway, my ferns are magnificent. These are 3-year-old, maybe 4. But I grew those all from spores, and just look at them. I mean, they're brilliant. It's time to clean up the gnome garden a little bit. Doesn't look like my morels came up, but yeah, again, I put them down, Christmas or something. So maybe next year we'll see some morels, and I can always buy some more and reseed. Or resporulate? What would you call that? I'm not sure. Anyway, kind of digging the gnome garden. And that tree should start blooming soon. I'm hoping that by removing some of the underbrush and stuff, I'll get better blossoms out of it, because it never really opens for me. I think we're actually going to stop here, but I want you to see my vision. Okay, so this is the view as it sits now. There's the air conditioning on the right. That, I forget what they call that bush, but I think it is actually toxic to birds, so I'm really considering cutting that down and poisoning the stump. But let's say you come through the arch. We're not going to go all the way back because that's loud. So you come through the arch, and you're right about here. So I want to put some fatsia to kind of shield this view, make it look all nice and tropical. So you got the ferns on the left, the camellias, and this hyacinth tree. I don't know what you really call it, but it looks like a hyacinth to me. But it's a tree. So we're going to call it a hyacinth tree. So you can't see any of this, Put some more fatsia around the air conditioner. Maybe a little like bamboo or something, gate, not actual bamboo, because I don't want to have to ever remove that. Bamboo gate for access, but you know, fatsia, and then I want to put, not a chain link fence, but something gothic and ornate, or woodsy, you know, and then, you know, have it, maybe even something with like a round green door and a knob in the center, be all hobbit-like, I don't know, and then have it open inward. Yes, it's got to open that way, so that the first thing you see is this tree with hopefully a welcoming face on it, and then we come down into the forest. And that is my vision for Chez Moi. We'll get to the backyard later. Thank you from the Life's Garden.